morning, Westside Eagles. Welcome to the Eagle News. Today's date is Friday, February 4th, 2022. It is an A-week. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing for the moment of silence. You may be seated. Lunch today will be cheese pizza. Sounds good, but the same as always. The weather today is rain or likely rain. And here's Mr. Johnson.
Good morning, Westside, Bestside. It's Friday, February 4th. Unfortunately, there are no birthdays today to celebrate. Our house standings, congratulations still to House Mudita in the lead, followed by House Kefi. House Julia making very great progress, congratulations. And House Duende very close to 1,600 points. Mudita, I hope you guys enjoyed your snow cones yesterday, and the rest of the houses, whichever house has the most points by the end of the third 9 weeks will receive cotton candy. Our consecutive days of good behavior, Duende, congratulations, you have made it now 2 consecutive days. Unfortunately, House Kevi, yesterday you fell, so you're back down to 0 days. Shake it off and move forward. Mudita, very impressive. You guys created a new record of 9 days. Today will mark day 10. If you can do so, Mudita, you will go ahead and make it to, you'll get a bonus of 100 house points. But that requires all of your students in that house. Make sure everyone is making the good choices. Julia, unfortunately, we also fell to 0 days yesterday. And since the house falls to 0, that means as a school, we unfortunately fall to 0 as well. Our legacy thought of the day, don't give in to the temptation of giving up. Giving up sure can look tempting at times, can it? You may talk yourself into thinking it's just easier just to give up. And in that moment, it may seem like the easier choice. However, long term, it actually just makes things harder for you. Successful people have trained themselves to be connected to their vision and purpose at all times. When decision time comes, they're able to make choices that are in alignment to their ultimate calling, no matter how difficult the choice may be. Giving up is just a disconnect from your vision and purpose. Don't give up. Just reconnect to your heart and soul and see your greatest vision and purpose, and let that fuel drive you forward. Well, let's enjoy a little laughter of this week's highs and lows.
It is time for the highs and lows of the week, and our first high goes to the great fans of the Kansas City Chiefs, who are slipping on their Patrick Mahomes jerseys and firing up the smokers already this morning ahead of today's big AFC Championship game. Last Sunday, the Chiefs outlasted the Buffalo Bills in one of the greatest games in NFL history. Mahomes leading Kansas City down the field to tie the game in a drive that impossibly took only 13 seconds before the Chiefs won the game in overtime. In the days after the game, Oishei Children's Hospital in Buffalo began to receive a flood of donations in $13 increments to its Patricia Allen Fund. Turns out that money was coming from Chiefs fans who donated in that number to mark that now famous 13-second drive. The fund is named after Josh Allen's late grandmother. It previously drew more than $1 million in donations from Bills fans. The Chiefs fan, who this week started the campaign for the hospital, says he wanted to honor both teams from that great game.
Loving the response from Bills Mafia. I mean, man, this is what a rivalry. I mean, we got a good decade of this going on. This is going to be fun.
As of this morning, Chiefs fans have helped to raise more than $400,000 for kids at that hospital in Buffalo. Well done, Kansas City. Our first low goes to the fact that your average modern toddler is much more adept with technology than you and I are. 22-month-old Ayansh Kumar was playing on his mother's phone in Monmouth Junction, New Jersey, when he decided the family home could be spruced up a bit with some new accent chairs. Mom says she'd been browsing furniture on Walmart's website and added the items to her shopping cart, but had not decided yet to buy them. Well, The young fella made an executive decision for the family and bought nearly $2,000 worth of furniture, accidentally, we think. A few days later, the surprise packages began to arrive. Mom asked her husband and her 2 older children about the orders, but it became clear quickly the lead suspect was wearing a diaper.
It is really hard to believe that he can do it, but that's what has happened.
The Kumars say they will return most of the items to Walmart, but a couple of the boys' purchases will remain in the house. The toddler's got an eye for design, coming this fall on HGTV. Our next high goes to an extraordinary 7-year-old boy in Laguna City, California, who this week lived out his dream of becoming a mailman. Jacob Hayward was diagnosed nearly 2 years ago at just 5 years old with kidney and lung cancer. Through chemotherapy, transfusions, and weeks of isolation, our guy Jacob has made one thing very clear. He is going to be a mailman. One of the brightest parts of Jacob's day is the arrival of his neighborhood mail carrier, Van Singletary, a 33-year veteran of the Postal Service. The two have become good buddies, and on Monday, Singletary showed up with much more than the mail. Are you kidding me, says Jacob. Knowing about Jacob's postal aspirations, Van arranged for the boy's own mini version of a U.S. Postal Service truck. Jacob jumped behind the wheel immediately, of course, cruising around the block to make some deliveries with younger sister Ava. Jacob also was named by the U.S. Postal Service an honorary letter carrier for Laguna City.
I cannot believe this is happening, so I'm so shocked that this has happened.
And we cannot wait to watch Jacob grow up and deliver that mail for real. Our final low goes to a dreaded knock at the door from a police officer. Usually not a good thing. But this week, an officer in Sioux Falls, South Dakota came bearing food. Seized from a delivery driver he had just arrested.
No, I'm not who you're expecting, but your driver got arrested for refusing sanitary care. So I figured I'd complete the DoorDash for you. Take care. Thanks!
Your driver got arrested. Police officer Sam Burr pulled over the DoorDash delivery driver for a traffic violation and then arrested him on an outstanding warrant. Officer Burr then delivered the perp's cargo, a sandwich, drink, and curly fries from Arby's to their rightful owner. To protect and serve curly fries.
Will you be a champion today? Make it a great day or not, that choice is yours. We love you and leave a legacy.
Now we have a talent from Jackson.
Really advanced, you can figure out just by the piece combinations every single move you need to make. I'm not really advanced, so I just use it to figure out how to do the daisy faster. Okay, it's end inspection in 3, 2, 1. Now I'm moving on to my F2L. That stands for the first 2 layers. This is pretty basic stuff. Basically, you slot in pieces like this to get one corner done at a time. Did it again. And that's all the first 2 layers. So now I'm working on the top face. First thing you do for the top face is you rotate it like this. Okay. And so after that, you'll get this. You always see the 4 edge pieces put in properly. So then you're going to want to rotate that. And then now we're entering into the part where you can memorize all the possible ways of solving it. Okay, so now that we've gotten the top face done, it's time for the semi-final part. We need to get all of the corner pieces for each row in properly. So we start that off by doing a set algorithm for this row. And then we get to this. So one side is full, and then the other sides have one edge piece in an incorrect position. And then you just gotta solve for that. And then you're good.
The joke for today is, did you hear about the actor who fell through the floorboards?
No.
He was just going through a stage. And now for the famous African American for the day, worth 5 points if you get a correct answer.
I was born on this day in 1913 and became one of the most well-known figures of the civil rights movement. In December 1955, I was arrested for refusing to give up my seat to a white passenger on a Montgomery City bus. Although I was charged with breaking the law, my actions began to inspire countless others to engage in disobedience against laws and policies which were unjust.
Fun fact of the day is there's a company that turns in dead bodies into an ocean reef.
What? There's no way.
Have a good rest of your day. Bye.